was Darwin? Who was Charles Darwin? Let's get started on today's episode of Who was Charles Darwin with a bit of a guest introduction, and I'll probably use him as an example sometime, called the cat. Let's get started. Now, for who was Charles Darwin, that is a very good story and a question to ask. He is one of the most special people in the whole wide world in the science community. He has been honored by many people, even regular people who don't even know much about science, for all of his evolution techniques. He has been like the time machine to the past and was able to find clues of it and to the past's future, which is technically the present and our future. He's not a psychic, but he did predict what might happen, and it's still happening right now. Now, Charles Darwin is an awesome guy, but what was his life? Other than being a very seasick passenger who sailed around the HMS Beagle for like 5 continuous years, what was his life like? Well, let's find out. Now, Charles Darwin was born on February 12th of 1809. In Shrewsbury, a small village in England. His family was well off, and his father was a well-respected doctor, and a very successful one, for that matter. Charles Darwin was in those people who were pretty much a scientific community. Charles has also been nominated being the most anti-medical person of his time. Well, he wasn't anti-medical, but he just didn't like seeing the ways that they treated patients back then. Surgery was still very painful, and no one really knew what these painfulness was like. I guess except for the patient, that is. For now, there are some things that we have found out in the other episodes of our series. Now, I made a Charles Darwin episode long ago, and this is an updated version. And if you remember from that episode, if you've ever watched it, which I'll say is really unlikely, because this channel only has like, I don't know, about 100 subscribers, Charles Darwin is just an awesome guy. He has just found a lot of theories and some evidence to prove that his theory of evolution was the most awesomest one right now. His theory of evolution is still not disproven yet, which might eventually be disproven after some evidence. I'm not saying it's a good theory. I'm saying it is one. I'm not saying it's a bad theory. I mean, it's a good one, but not so types that I'm pretty much into it. For right now, there are some evidence of how this thing really happens, and another thing is that all of our past intentions with this world has been somewhat a bit vigorous, as well as we are trying to find out how the world works. Charles may have fixed that problem with his theory of evolution, and after almost being accredited by someone else for finding the theory of evolution, he quickly published his papers in a side-by-side announcement to that person's paper, which was written in 1358, while his was written in 1356 and 1357. He wrote a lot of books, like the journal, like this one book called Journal of Researches, which was based on his 5-year experience of being very seasick on the HMS Beagle and all those finds that he found with his notes, which followed along with On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, which is the book that made him famous in 1859, and Darwin's The Descent of Man in 1871. At the age of 73 years old in 1882, he died at Westminster Abbey. And that's the last we've heard of him. Now how is this guy so honored? All he did was create a theory, but that theory changed millions. We started looking into like DNA, cells, ouch, bad body, ouch, all matter, closer objects. We've looked at them even closer than we can see. And we found out a lot of things. We found out about DNA, chromosomes, how to create softwares that aren't really real and like touchable real, interactable but not touchable real. We found out how to create all these like color pigments. We even learned how to create all these videos. DARWIN started the evolution, but he has built on it. He started it. And that's how we're here today, learning about DNA, chromosomes, biology, all the fun things that some YouTubers say it in a cartoon format way. Like the Amoeba Sisters. I have no negotiations with them, but I am a subscriber. So, I hope to see you guys in the next episode. See you then. Shana out. Peace. So I know this video is an updated version. If you really want the original version that I'm still not sure I created, then just search it up. See ya.